also here at the V Spa post 4th of July. Fireworks in the background because I'm celebrating with the world. What you're about to watch is the Zoom call introducing us taking this book and the group that's behind producing it into a global telethon for charity impact, launching all of our foundations in partnership with others that myself and partners are bringing in, from the Jimmy V Foundation to Michael J. Fox. And yes, I've taken steps to start connecting all of that. Please meet a lot of people that were all key leaders in the Paramount deal. I give you Lovelution overnight through spontaneous evolution. The Zoom call to bring back the legacies that Dick Clark and Jerry Lewis started to change an industry overnight. Hey, Melanie.
Hey guys. Oh, it's
It's
just
just
me and
you.
you.
Yeah, it's just you and me right now.
Oh,
Hi.
okay.
Um,
Hola. I got my glasses on like you today.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I kind of worked out the entire sequence for this because we're launching the Big Picture World channel on connecttoyourcity.com. And I've recorded at this point so many hours of content.
Mhm.
I can stream for like 8 to 10 hours on a loop. Danny Falcone, hang on. So I have essentially storied out what we're gonna do. So there's two speeches that I've written that I am putting on all of this and doing some videos. So basically, I'll wait till they get on. But so I've got a new era storytelling part two, which then would be on the front. Hey, Danny, which then would be on the front of what's the spontaneous evolution Zoom that we had last night. And then that would end with Tony K from our Yamashiro dinner. So it's all these things that I've made over this various year period, all connected to Project Rise Partners. And then that's going to launch tomorrow on May 15th. I'm going to literally edit this together. I'm going to go this afternoon at the Veterans Memorial Park here in Ocala, where, oh, there's Henry, our publicist. Great. Hang on. Henry, hi. So just so you know what's going on, this is my partner, Melanie and Danny.
Hey guys.
Hi, Henry.
And Melanie works with Rasta Phil, who is one of Mark Wahlberg's best friends and has been for 30, 40 years. You see all the people that were behind me in this telling me they would bring in their relationships when the time was right. All of that was very real and true. And I have institutional funding for my partners that I brought in to the Paramount deal to buy Paramount. And everybody questioned that, including the public. You see a lot of people whose Project Rise Partners, no leadership. Well, I'm introducing everybody to all the leaders, and it's going to live stream 24/7, 7 days a week for the rest of my life
Amen.
on the Big Picture World streaming channel that's launching on connecttoyourcity.com. I didn't have to buy a streaming platform because my partners built one that originated at Jackson State University years ago when I was still making small movies. And Danny Falcone here, we're telling the story of his life as well. I can literally partner with a brand and release Danny's series also on our channel, Big Picture World, and have it play over and over and over again. And because we have all of the institutional funding, and we also have a network and an ecosystem of A-list celebrity talent that get paid millions of dollars to be part of brands living with me in the house, and the story of what's going to be my life. It's a gentleman by the name of Kiefer Moore, who's partners in helping run Death Row Films with Snoop Dogg. You see, I am literally connected to the most famous, influential people ever on earth. And I finally accepted that because I had people that were oppressing me for years and making me believe that I was so tiny. And then I realized that the whole world was directly in front of me. And I met everybody that believed in me on this walk, you included, Henry. But like you told me last night, I can't watch that video you guys did because I'm at Cannes. There's nothing bigger in the world of entertainment news than what we've done in the last 14 months. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
And if you watch the videos, so basically, I'm launching tomorrow on May 15th, something that's going to be on a loop ultimately on our streaming platform. That's what this meeting's about. This meeting, getting on this call shortly, is Larry Witherspoon, who founded and created and incubated and visioned connectyourcity.com, which you can pull up right now, which already exists. And so we're launching the day that the final reckoning comes out, our streaming platform, and it's going to be Skydance's final reckoning because they'll never be able to shut it off, just like the movie They Live, my childhood favorite movie, produced by my mentor, the man that inspired me in life to literally step into something bigger than myself, who literally sat down with Will Crossley and shook hands with him the same day I did, and Larry Franco, whose brother-in-law, the uncle of his son, is Kurt Russell. And I'm not name dropping. These are my family members in my life. You see, we're born into families, and then we create the ones when we go out into the world that we make. And so you are my publicist because you're the publicist for Project Rise Partners and didn't even realize that because I co-created it with other individuals. And the money behind that believes in me because they actually got to know me. And it's about to get really fun in a way that most people on earth could not expect. So I am finishing what I needed to do. They told me to focus in on one thing. So I found this book, Spontaneous Evolution, to launch an entire global telethon event behind. Sam Harris will be on here shortly with Henry Vaccaro and Don Bennett. We control the streaming rights to the Jackson 5 television show, a show that I believe was produced by CBS. And I am going to air that, we are, on our streaming platform that already exists that money did not have to buy. And that is going to play with brand sponsors on the Big Picture World channel, created by myself and all of my partners, the ones that also control the Jackson 5 IP. Henry Vaccaro gave me the book on his 30-year friendship with Johnny Cash. I've partnered with John Radinsky. That's who I want to put in that. He looks like Henry. And I'm going to literally bring that story to our screens as well. So I'm letting you know what's going on. I need to have one separate call with you when you get the bandwidth. But
Okay.
I want to launch all of this between now and Friday with press. And the money's not going to be an issue once this happens, Henry. And you are literally attached to the Twitter post that we put up after we got on Lookout Mountain. And despite me standing next to an Oscar-nominated film producer for a movie that grossed damn near $1 billion, nobody still wanted to listen on what this group, a group that has become my daily family, went and created. And now I'm going to play it on a loop for the whole world to tune in and see. So I'm editing together everything that we've shot over the last year. And the day that Mission Impossible Part 2, starring the head of our table, Isai Morales, you see, that's why it's press, because Isai behind the scenes helped me do all of this for a full year almost. So since he's connected to a movie that's going to be the #1 film in the world, and I spoke to him yesterday along with my partner David McClendon, who's the head of our foundation, and David and I are co-directing a movie dealing with immigration called Devil's Breath together that he wrote, that before I got involved, Isai during COVID was going to star in with Edward James Olmos. I'm launching something that's going to be on the loop, and then everything else is going to follow. And Malka, Michael Orsini for Malka, to be exact, has agreed to literally partner with me as my partner to go out and put literally a non-depletion fund together and do exactly what I wrote about in a vision before I ever met them build something to where everybody in the world will come to us to fund their movies, including every other studio, because of what we have in our ecosystem. See, when people are putting studio movies together, they've got to go and come up with money to pay talent to attach to it, not us, because the talent built all of this with us from the sidelines. Because to put something together this big and this scope and scale across the entire world, you can't operate literally with public faces staring at you. You've got to do it quietly in the shadows like ninjas. And that's exactly what we did. And every single word, Henry, of what I'm saying is the absolute truth. So I can't thank you enough for believing in me enough to get on this morning, because I called you back before anything was even made public with Project Rise. And I told you something big was happening. And then you told me the big things that you saw happen that you got initial calls on that you weren't part of. But you see, this is all about not letting the matrix surround you in the daily world that we live in, essentially suppress things that are right in front of us. And you and I did so much work together when Cutthroat City came out, when I wanted to generate a public, essentially, campaign behind the movie, because nobody really saw it or was listening to it, but it had such, icons in it. And I believed in it. I believed in RZA so much. And there's not a single step I would do differently, because it shaped and molded me into a person that has a deep, deep understanding of the world, and not just people, and of all shapes and sizes and aspects across every single edge of it. So thank you. Sam Harris is on here. I want you to meet him real quick, because Sam, along with Henry Vaccaro and Don Bennett, control everything, not only with the streaming rights to the Jackson 5 series, but the 74 unreleased master recordings as well. Sam, you there, sir?
Good morning. Yes, sir.
Hi. So Dion's on. We'll wait for Larry, and Isaac will be on shortly, and we'll recap. But Henry's got limited time, and he's been our publicist privately. We put his email out on the initial Twitter post. I don't know if he got one single email about what we were doing. He did not, because the world's been asleep, but we're about to wake him up because of what Dion and Larry have been running. Oddly enough, the Jackson 5 streaming platform, connect your cities from Jackson, Mississippi, Piney Woods School. It's all connected. So, Sam, will you let Henry, and Henry comes from a music knowledge background too. He's also a DJ. Everybody gets to make all their dreams and hobbies
DJ
come true.
Emeritus.
Yeah. So,
Emeritus.
Sam, Henry and I go way back, along with Amy Brownstein, to when I made Cutthroat City. After it came out, we basically, when we debuted at #1 overnight on Netflix, I wanted to do something to get eyeballs on it. So Henry put together a great launch event, and I realized he was supposed to be the publicist behind what we're going to do, with literally a telethon and everything else. Him, his team, and others. Brad Bowes, who owns a chain of boxing gyms and health and wellness gyms in Los Angeles with Robert Downey Jr., is also our partner in health and wellness in this entire adventure. And his daughter, Caitlin Bowes, is in music publicity as well. So I shared some of the names, Henry, because I was able to build a team around you that all believe in what we're doing. Melanie up here, same deal. Melanie and Rasta already reached out and set in motion, if we were to have an event, the ability to literally book Post Malone for that, Jelly Roll for that. I've been putting together a music festival for a year. So just so you know. And you're going to be running the show on that, on the PR side. So Sam, I'm not going to talk. Yesterday, that flow took us out of whack, and then someone popped up, so I didn't get to reference you. So I'm going to stop talking now. And Danny's on this to listen and help and observe too. So Sam, continue. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me on the call, Don. I just talked to him. He's headed to the airport to pick up a friend of ours that's coming in to be with him for some work. But we're just glad to be a part of the vision with Big Picture and with Will. And so we come with some basic foundational experience from the music industry, with Scarface's first record before it became a Ghetto Boy, to Reverend Paul Jones, which is my #1 gospel record in the country. And also having sold an Elvis Presley catalog that was written by Arthur Crudup out of Mississippi, recently the primary wave for the family I represent. And with the Jacksons, Mr. Vaccaro, that has the largest memorabilia collection on the Jackson 5, with the TV show, all 12 episodes that included Dom DeLuise, Red Fox, Betty White, Ed McMahon, Sonny Bono.
You're talking the animated series from 1972, right?
No, 1976 to 77. This was the actual live
live
series
okay.
with the family, with these individuals as guests.
A variety show.
And they had skits, the variety show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the master tape.
How many episodes are there?
It's 12.
Got it. Okay.
12 episodes. And then they're unreleased. The songs that Michael did when he was 10, 11, 12 years old with Motown, some with Epic, they redid them for the TV show because they pantomimed for the singing, but the actual skits were live. But the actual songs, like I Never Can Say Goodbye and I'll Be There and Ben, he did a duet with Sonny Bono. Those things are real powerful. You could just imagine Cher being put on that record, you know.
Essentially,
but anyway, those masters have never been. The songs have never been released. They were Joe Jackson production.
They're essentially the audio track for the performances on the show, right?
Right. But the songs were done in totality. They were done full 3-4 minute songs, but they only did maybe say 30 seconds,
right?
40
like
seconds
medleys and snippets and stuff. Okay, yeah. How many songs are there?
72 unreleased songs. Yeah.
And do you guys have the rights to that for all media or all media?
The full ownership, copyrights, Library of Congress, copyrights, court authority, the estate, Branca and McLean. They are very aware of it, that it's already been settled.
And those, so the chain of title is clean.
Right, just like Never Can Say Goodbye. The only thing we have to do with that song is mix it. We have everything digitized, but the only thing we'd have to do with that song is deal with Clifton Davis, because he wrote the song. So he's a publisher of Never Can Say Goodbye.
And Henry, when you're putting together a music festival and you have unreleased Jackson 5 tracks, and you also have access to Chris Brown, amongst other global artists that would love to make music with not only the Jackson 5s, but Michael. You see, my mother's best friend from childhood is Johnny May. She's an actress. She's been in Boardwalk Empire. She played DiCaprio's maid in Wolf of Wall Street. My mom and her grew up in the town that I'm sitting in right now, Ocala, Florida. They went to literally this school over here and another one called Osceola Middle School together. They've been friends since the 70s. Johnny's son, TJ, who goes by Loverboy TJ, him and Chris are very close. Chris even slept on Johnny's couch. So I'm going to arrange a meeting.
That's true love. That's true love. That's right up there with getting somebody at the airport.
Exactly. And so Sam and I had a conversation with Johnny and with TJ. And part of what I'm doing and we're going to do is this hopefully global commercial that I'm going to go to Coca-Cola and Mercedes on and get a couple RVs starting on the West Coast and a couple RVs starting here on the East Coast, California and Florida. And we're going to drive, we're going to live stream it all on connecttoyourcity.com. And I'm going to drive and pick up numerous members from Project Rise partners that are leaders. When we were told we had no leadership in public press because Skydance's lawyers didn't want to educate themselves on anything. Press that already existed, that Jeff Schneider ran on November 8th, a week after Donald Trump sued CBS, by the way. And we're going to literally go and we're going to drive to New York and we're going to have a meeting in Malka's offices. And I'm going to do everything in my power with the relationships that I have to have Chris Brown be a part of that. And we're going to have Chris, amongst other people, come on board, something that will already be paid for with brand sponsorship. And we're going to literally do something that has not been seen since Live Aid. And it's all connected to our foundations and our charities and all the amazing human beings that believed in a vision that I kept getting that I couldn't explain, that a lot of people removed themselves from due to greed. And now the leaders are going to continue writing a story that has already been written, because I'm convinced we're all living in reverse. If God knows the beginning, the middle, and the end, then all of this has already been written and we're now stepping into it. So Sam, Don, and Henry, along with Melanie and Rasta Phil and a guy by the name of Scott Ross, who started and was involved in the Funky Bunch, are going to be the main people overseeing this music festival, as well as Jamie King, who is my oldest friend as an A-list actress in Hollywood, who was on our Zoom call we had with Piney Woods, and a lot of other people that knew I was still continuing the path, and that I always circle back around with all of them to literally make the action happen. When you deal with hundreds of people like I did and build a global studio infrastructure, because it was called Paramount Global, you have to pivot in and out of a lot of timelines. And that's where I got up the saying, God hides in the pivot from. I'm literally getting it tattooed on me, as well as Humble Ego Killer, Proverbs 3:5-6, and Dream It, Create It, Live It, which is the name of our advertising company. And every next step, Henry, that I take in this, I need you looped in on, because you are the only publicist out front for something of this size that I trust.
Thank you. Is the Skydance deal, Paramount deal, not, it's over, right?
Still going on in
Oh.
Delaware Chancery Court. There's still an ongoing court case where Malka and the New York pension funds, specifically the New York pension funds, but Malka's involved, have been suing Skydance. The same judge presiding over that case, Judge Kathleen St. Jude McCormick, is the same judge that threw out Elon's massive payout from when he bought Twitter. One of my partners in this, Eric Chandler, his brother, is an amazing, iconic MMA fighter by the name of Michael. Michael had a fight that I was going to try to go to because Drew Grabetsky's been doing a documentary on Michael for years. You see, partners of ours that believe in me were filming a documentary when Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and David Ellison sat ringside watching somebody directly connected to us fight in the ring, while God knows what they were talking about. But you see, that was right after the April 7th deadline, which people can read in legal documents, was connected to that. And they haven't made a ruling. This is why the Paramount Skydance deal has not closed. And so people that aren't me, because I've been doing this, are involved in that, but it's all connected. And we own something that at one point was on CBS. So who are the real leaders of a new modern studio? I would like to let the court of a public opinion to decide who the best basically group is to be the custodians of a legacy called Paramount. And I literally put out a video called Big Picture World Finds Justice. It's 2.5 hours long on YouTube. And I put a trailer out that I recorded in front of Madison Square Garden for that. That's authentic. None of it's scripted. It was all me receiving what I was saying. And I told everybody that if we didn't get justice, we were going to go find it. So now I'm going to live stream it. And that's where I'd like Dion to jump on. And also, I believe the iPhone 13 too that just came in. If you guys could get off mute. This is Henry Eshelman, our publicist, friends. Has been since we started this. Has been actually since I launched Big Picture Collective. He introduced me to Valerie Complex, who ran the only press that I put out, because you see, I don't announce anything until I know that it's actually going to happen. That's why there's 2 press releases. One starting Big Picture Collective, and the other when I signed a contractual agreement with Will Crossley to build a movie studio, a new movie studio, to bring the gates of Hollywood to the next generation, because it's not about Hollywood, it's about the entire entertainment global community, at Piney Woods School, which is going to be one of the places I load everybody up in RVs. We're going to drive from California in one set, from Florida in the other. We're going to drive to Houston, Texas, where Sam Harris owns a ranch that he's thrown festivals at before. More recently, one for a gentleman out of India. By the way, David Walmark, Life of Pi, India. No connections there. And we're going to all get in those RVs, meet up at a central point, and then we're going to drive to Pineywood School and finally visit it, because I've never even been to Pineywood School. That's how much Will Crossley believed in me and partnering on this, and Larry Franco, because I have surrounded myself with the best and the brightest to ever do this. So this is a lot, Henry, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, and I'm talking about a lot because you emailed me last night that you had limited time due to Cannes today. So however you want to proceed, I would like to. And Dion, can you talk about Connect to Your City? You're on mute, brother.
Yeah, sure. Connect to Your City is freedom of speech first and foremost. Just the resources that we have. It is a broadcasting network that has the OTT capabilities, so we don't even need the internet. However, so if the internet was to go down, we'd still be broadcasting. But we are
From
on the
where?
huh?
From where?
We use the emergency frequencies to broadcast.
Is
So
that like public access, or I don't understand.
well, it's a lot more technical to that. Larry's gonna have to describe that to you guys
Okay.
exactly how it's working. I wish he was on the call right now, but is he on the call? No, he's not on there.
No, he's not here.
Um, but but he uses the emergency frequencies to broadcast. We have over 156 servers around the world. We are global. We're in 196 different countries. We have 211 channels, OTT channels that perform, that you can use. Like I said, it's a broadcasting, but it's also over the internet. So we have partnered with. We're not on Roku. We have partnered with Roku. So Roku uses uh, some of our technology to service its other channels. Same thing with Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and several other uh, entities like that we use and we work with to broadcast. So when we do our broadcast, it's broadcasting simultaneously on all those platforms, and we can have the ability to do 211 channels right now that we can broadcast on, and over 40 radio stations as well. Through our platform, we're able to we have a 24/7 loop that each channel has. We also have on-demand features. We can go live anywhere. We can do pay-per-view in anywhere in the world.
And
Okay.
Danny Dion, 1 second. I'm glad you said that 24/7 loop. So the day that Final Reckoning comes out, Henry, we're going to launch the Big Picture World Live channel that's going to live stream 24/7. And it's going to be everything that we've had, from the Pineywood Zoom call to a couple things that I'm about to finish and publish over the next 2 days. It's also going to be literally the Zoom that we had last night with Steve Bhaerman to take the book Spontaneous Evolution and turn it into a global telethon. This Zoom call is going to be part of it, as well as every single piece of footage, as the filmmaker that I am, that I have filmed over the last year. And guess what else? I'm even going to throw some more stuff in from the meetings we had that have very influential people connected in. Seeing is believing. So now the world's going to get to see it. I'm also directing a music video called Trump This, because I'm an independent party and I do support our president. And I think because, I got behind RFK Jr. with Tory Gamble, and Tory became one of my best friends. Tory, who at the time was president of the PAC, or CEO actually of the PAC, United for America, behind RFK Jr. I tried to have Tory on this. He couldn't be on today. He's on the other Zoom call last night. See, when Tory and I met, we met because I contacted him because they weren't letting RFK Jr. be part of the debates. They were silencing his voice. So I wanted to use the Big Picture ecosystem to throw our own event simultaneously, while he was going to be literally debating in a studio while the debate was going on. And then Elon Musk gave him the platform of X. But everything I've done is the absolute truth. It's all verifiable and it's all backed up with documented receipts. And
Okay.
so, hold on.
Your
This is
voice
important.
abhors a vacuum.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
passionate, man. It's passion. It's not anger. It's nothing else. I've been through so much doing this and had so many people silence my voice. So I'm making a music video called Trump This because RFK is who I was supporting for president. He's now working with Trump. So I want to work with, people that I think are actually trying to change the world, especially this go around, because I've seen shaking the tree in DC in the same manner I've been trying to shake it in Hollywood. Not a lot of people understand that as you're going through the path. So peace, love, kindness, forgiveness. That's all I operate in now. And I forgive my voice being silenced by corporate legacy greed. But basically, Sam Harris, will you talk about the song that your son wrote?
I can't stay to listen to it because
That's okay. Okay, so
I'm so
Henry,
sorry. But
no,
to
you're
tell you
fine.
guys, I mean, so you mentioned earlier that you said you weren't going to say anything to media until you were absolutely sure it was going to happen. I have looked at your email that you just did to describe this. It seems to have three parts. One is the development of this channel and the launch of this channel. And you're going to have to show me the website or how to get access to that. Then the second piece is the acquisition or distribution of the Jackson 5 TV show on this platform, or launching it on this platform. And so that's piece A. Piece B is the music story and the access to and ability to monetize the Jackson 5 unreleased recordings, which seems like a big deal. And the third piece is this telethon show live concert thing that you want to do. All of that sort of needs to be put a pin into it. So if you have an idea that you're going to do this,
I can, let me just jump in because I know you're limited. So one of my visual marketing partners and also geniuses in other spaces, Darren Cagg, we've been working on a massive advertising overview deck. So you're going to have all of this in a beautiful visual presentation form, connected to everything that we're doing. And so I
right.
will send that to you as soon as it's ready, and that'll be ready going into this weekend before we get to next week.
Okay. Well, it is great meeting everybody. I'm very pleased to be part of this. I have followed William for a while, as he has said, and I am excited to try to help you bring this venture to the public. So keep shoving me email, and we'll talk to you soon. I have to go deal with France now.
Thank
Take
you,
care, you
Henry.
guys.
Enjoy
Bye-bye now.
Cannes.
Cheers.
Bye.
I'm not there.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Everyone's on mute except for Sam.
Hello.
I
Yes.
forgot to unmute myself. Hi, guys.
Hi. So, Mr. Falcone, if you'll get off mute real quick, because I want to run through what we're going to do with you as well.
right.
'Cause we're going to announce it on our platform. So, I don't know because I don't create any of this. I follow the path. The next steps, and Mr. Robert Buell wanted to be on here. You got to talk to him last night, Danny. So Robert's got connections to, he's an advertiser since the 1960s. He's been working with advertisers on making commercials, thousands of them. I mean, even more than that, like probably millions of hours. And so basically, between now and when we launch, because I'm editing together everything that we filmed so we can launch even without the brand advertiser up front. When this is on a loop 24/7, we'll be able to literally send every ad company into the direction of what we did. So since it's going to be on a loop where people can't stop it because it's going to be live looping, everybody can go and watch it. People will get bits and pieces of information. Enough's going to stand out to people to make them want to have meetings with us, to at least have conversations. And then it's not only us, it's my partners that literally back the Paramount deal with the amazing founders of Malka, CJ Moses, and also Michael. Michael, who had an amazing conversation yesterday with my parents. So I have the entire team in place to essentially unite the global entertainment community together with a fund that can be structured from anybody that wants to invest in it, from brands basically companies like Coca-Cola and Mercedes. And it's also all connected to what we're doing with the family that owns the Canyon Country store, a place that's literally connected to iconic legacy. We own parcels of land all over literally the United States. And even I have a partner who owns 600 acres in Jamaica. There are various people connected to every single one of these territories that I've met along the way in the journey of this. So between now and the middle of next week, we get everything ready to launch. We launch it on Friday, May 23rd. And then from that day forward, that following week is going to be connecting with global brands and advertisers to between now and June 1, get everybody on board for what this music festival will be, what the film festival will be, what the comedy festival will be, what this literally unscripted documentary series will be on all of us, cameras on all of us in every part in the world. And then there's going to be a unification period of everybody meeting in one place. This is essentially the retreat that I talked about having back before we even had an investor on board, because I knew what we were doing. And every step of the way from now on is not me leading this and walking in it endlessly and coming back and updating everybody. I'm not making a single move in any capacity on the path ahead once we get this streaming channel launched without Sam involved, without Melanie involved, and Rasta when he can be, without you involved, Danny, and without Don Bennett involved. And Don and Sam work with Henry. And I've watched Sam literally just like me on what I was doing with this, man. This Jackson thing, this is no joke. That's like full attention at points in between everything else he was doing. But I've watched literally Sam believe in my vision that I've had. And Sam, if you wouldn't mind, since the world's going to see this as well, because you can so eloquently, in a way that I can't, put what we've walked through together since we met. And I mean, you're talking about something, I mean, this is $1 billion+ IP because of what it is. So if you'll just share some of what we've been through, I want Danny and Melanie to hear it, because they've walked a path of having to dance in the dark in their life due to what they were birthed into, not necessarily what they chose to be involved in. And my partner, Sydney Brocious, and myself got birthed into things that we didn't get to make decisions on. And we found everybody of the light one day. And that's why there's people different ages in this. So, Sam, if you'll just share some of this, and Dion, I want you to talk about the journey as well, because what the world doesn't know, they've heard me talk about the bullet that was fired at my head. That same backyard that I was in where I got shot at was the same backyard I was in when I had my very first ever conversation with Dion, one that was also filmed, by the way. And these are the two gentlemen that, despite everything that came at us under the sun, walked in this every day to get to this point with me. And I don't know if the other person that's on this Zoom is Mr. Isaac Moneypenny, but if it is, I would like for him to share some stuff as well, because we actually got introduced technically through Shepard Fairey, and he's connected to They Live. I went to Shepard Fairey's art show, They Live being my favorite movie, produced by my mentor, Larry Franco. And that's how we got the music side of this platform. Real world is a video game, man. You just got to understand how to play it. And it's all about connecting people. Sam, can you share some of your experience in the last, I don't know, almost year, since October, November?
Okay. Well, no, we're glad to be on the call again, and we are really a part of just being part of the team. The team makes the dream, right? So, no, we came to know Will and understand the vision, and as representing Mr. Picaro, with Don Bennett, my partner, with the Jackson 5 IP, with the TV show, unreleased material, the largest memorabilia collection on the Jacksons ever, and everything has been captured by way of 35 millimeter slides, and then working with Sir Brett with the artwork of Michael, which when Michael said this is it, that was what he was saying. He was really wanting to do the last tour and focus on his paintings that a lot of people didn't know he had and that he was doing. And so being able to deal with both IPs after being a child and dreaming about Michael and I walking across the football field, and he was telling me how unhappy he was as a child. It just came full circle. Then after he passed, meeting his mother and Jermaine and the other brothers before Tito died, we were able to recognize that as we have been representing the brands of Arthur Crutta by way of songs he wrote for Elvis Presley, and we were able to sell those to Primary Wave, the catalog not long ago. This was my next level of work that we wanted to go to as being in the music business. And so my son, as Will mentioned, wrote the song Trump This, and with the video that he's going to produce, we also, as an artist, he wrote Don't Go Tell Your Mama to Vote for Obama. But my son is an artist that has toured with Chris Brown and Lil Wayne and Neo and T-Pain, and has been in films with the My Super Sweet 16 movie with MTV and several other films. He's an actor, he's a radio host, he's a rapper, and my oldest daughter, she's a platinum writer, wrote for Whitney Houston and Keisha Cole and Monica and SWV. And my oldest son is a music major. So we come together as a family to be able to bring these brands and the intellectual property as well to be a part of the vision, because it's about, being a pastor, we're involved in humanitarian work with hurricane relief to HIV and AIDS awareness and housing homeless men and women. And so that's what we've been doing by the grace of God, as God has helped me. I'm purposed now to help others. And so with Will, has a genius mindset, and God has blessed him and has accepted the Lord in his life. And when I say that, we can't take credit. We have to give all glory to God. And so we're here to see how we can put the puzzle and let everything be jointly and fit together, and we can touch and change the world before we leave, because we're not going to stay. We're just here to make an indelible mark and to glorify God and to have eternal rest as we prepare. So whatever we can do to help this cause, just to sit in the studio and hear these master tapes with Michael singing, we can solo it. Everything's digitized. It's not, you got to go bake some tapes and hope you get a good quality effect when you hear it, but it's already been done. Everything is ready to go. And so being able to have the opportunity to bring this to fruition, I believe God has set it aside for such a time as this, and for the group of people that he can trust to bring it together, because truly it's going to take a team effort.
Thank you, Sam. Sorry, my phone froze there for a second,
Amen.
so I dropped off.
Yeah, and the Trump this song. I mean, when President Trump, let me say this: I dream a lot, and I dreamed that he and I and Kim, the president of Korea, North Korea, I believe, we were in a room together, and I was getting ready to. I'd given Kim some water, and then I was getting ready to give President Trump some water. And the vase or the vessel that the water was in, I began to shine it. And it was like, I was like making sure that it didn't have any fingerprints on it, that it was clean. And I woke up, I was like, wow, what is this? But he had an Adele song that he had played in his campaign, and she did a cease and desist on it and said, don't play my song. And so, and what we did was, I'm a producer. And so we worked with George Clinton on my son's first album, and we know him from, Parliament, but we worked on two songs. One was, we did Flashlight over. In fact, he performed that in China during the Olympics in '08. But we worked with Yao Ming directly with the Houston Rockets when he played. But we did another song called, instead of We Want the Funk, it was Yao Ming Wants to Dunk, Gotta Have That Dunk. And so that was with George. So we worked that and we were able to deal with not only the Asian community, but globally overseas in China. But I get ideas. And so I got an idea about Trump this. Well, and then when you hear the lyrics of the song, it was said that you don't want, you don't have to worry about somebody saying we can't play this song. We Trump this. This is what we've come back with our own song. But when you hear it, but we're so honored that Will would be interested to do the video and bring it to fruition. But I believe divinely that as if you look up Kim Clement, I'm being a pastor, being anointed by God by His grace. Kim Clement also was anointed, and he prophesied that Donald Trump would serve 2 terms, and he's back in office in spite of everything that has happened. And so this is a divine time, even as he's with the Saudis right now. As yesterday they rolled out the carpet for him. It's not about Trump. It's about the purpose of God being fulfilled in our lives. But we want to honor him as a president, as we honored past President Joe Biden, or past President Barack Obama, past President Ronald Reagan. We want to honor leaders. And so that's God's way. But with this song, I believe it's going to touch, and my son has done a great job with the lyrics and the performance of it. So I think that this is going to be a great project for us.
Thank you, Sam. And that's what I did, right? I went out and I found all the leaders, what I believe are the positive light. And so why not go and literally do something that can bring in the leader that literally runs the states of America that we live in? Because I've also been connected to leaders across the world as well that are considered the presidents of these other countries through the medium of entertainment. A friend of mine, literally, I'm not even gonna get into that on this, but Marty, I see you jumped on, brother. Hello.
Hello, how are you, boss?
My man, dude, I'm sorry you got under the weather yesterday when
Yeah.
we were. I'm gonna share that Zoom with you, but for those that can't see you and you can stay off camera, it's okay because we're gonna give the world quite the reveal when we load up in an RV together. But this is Martin Kleba, Danny, Melanie, Dion, and Sam, and he is a global star of movies. He's been in films that have made
Well, I'm an actor, not a star.
massive amounts of money, and I know, but I only work with leaders and stars, Martin. No,
All right,
like
boss.
we've got gotten to know each other and the amazing conversations that we've gotten to have since we were introduced through Eddie. I've always seen the talent that is you, and you shared past things with me that the world didn't really get to see. And so it's an honor to get the chance to work with you on what I'm going to direct after we throw this telethon. And, I've been part of a nonprofit. I know you don't consider anything in your life a disability, but
Right,
the world does.
right.
I've been trying to shine awareness in the entertainment industry on people that have disabilities. So when I was going down the path and this whole thing kind of aligned in the manner that it did, and when Eddie sent me the script that Scott gave me, which we're now making, you were on the IMDb from the conversations you and Eddie had previously. So just thank you for not literally knowing me from Adam and diving into this and having some of the conversations and doc connecting your own stuff, because this is about to be the adventure of a lifetime. And I know your views politically, and I'm an
Yeah.
independent party. So I would like for you to be involved in what we're going to do with this video that we're going to make on the track Trump This. And all of this is going on our platform. We're going to launch the Big Picture World channel next Friday. And Dion, will you share, because Marty wasn't on, Dion, will you share a bit about connectyourcity.com? Because it's got a, Martin will see what's going on. And also, this is all about everybody having their own channel on something that we already have brands behind and brand dollars. It's a whole new form of streaming and social media and the likes of the above, completely separate from what exists with Twitch and YouTube. So Dion, can you share again, because education is everything, what what we've got going on with connecttoyourcity.com. And also, let's talk about the monetization of the sports side of this, because I want to monetize youth sports and literally create a system that allows athletes that if they don't become professional athletes separate from the NIL world, can literally change their lives at a young age. Dion, will you talk
Right.
really quickly about the next steps for Connect to Your City and what you've done in the past to this point?
Yeah.
You're on mute. There you go.
So it's important to really hone in on what the resources are really used for. I'm going to go over the resources in just a second, but what are the resources used for? You just hit it right on the head when you spoke about change, when you talked about a real change and real things happening real time. These are the things that we specialize in. These things we've already performed on multiple levels, including the Arizona Bowl we just did out in Tucson, Arizona, in December 28th, I believe it was, and much more. You talked about the sporting side of things. We have several NIL channels that are already active right now as we speak, with Nilo being the leader, Nilo Television being the leader with over 10 million viewers right now as we speak right now.
Wow.
What the reason why I speak about the what we can do and how we can affect change is because it's important to know that we focusing on private entities being able to fund public issues. Like for instance, the distribution of food resources in the state of New York, where one of our channel owners brought awareness to the inefficiency of the distribution of food, which led to because of the distribution of food being so bad out there, a lot of food was going rotten. So they used that our resources, and we used our networks to bring awareness to that, to fix the problem itself.
Right.
In the NIL world, what we're doing right now is we have a bowl game that we're doing called the Ass Kicking Chicken Bowl that we're doing August 31st out in Atlanta, where Virginia Tech is playing South Carolina Gamecocks. So two different universities with Bird,
Love it.
mascots that are also they're playing at the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, which is another Bird mascot. So we use that as an opportunity to do so, and we're getting nonprofits and so many other different entities involved. We're teaching
Right.
athletes how to take a 4-year career and turn it into a 40-year career. That's very special to me because I played football at Virginia Tech, and I was 5 games away from going to the NFL. Uh,
Yep.
and I hurt my knee playing against Central Florida.
That sucks
So
because people forget about all the time put in. They only worry about the people that are in for 1 or 2 years and then off to the NFL. And I believe that every athlete should have to complete the 4 or 5 years that they were studying, because you never know. You could get in the NFL, and then one game you're done, and now what? You're basically, I don't want to say a nobody, but if you didn't learn, I joke, and don't take this the wrong way, but I joke about the SEC teams. I'm like, the Alabamas and the Georgias, if they didn't study and get some kind of degree, um, they're going to end up being bums, because if the NFL doesn't end up picking them up, and they didn't, study, and get a good thing. And again, this is all a joke because I'm a Michigan fan, so I always rag on the Ohio State guys too. I'm like, yeah, you only need a 2.8 to get into Ohio State. That's not a lot. And if you don't go and get a degree, and you don't get into into the NFL, what are you going to do? Wash cars? I'm like, at least, I'm not saying everybody at Michigan, but a lot of these guys can fall back on business, degrees, and being doctors and lawyers or whatever else. And I mean, I know it's true with every school, but that's just because I'm a Big Ten guy. I like to rag on the SEC. So
Hey, man, I'm a Gator. It's okay. I didn't go there, but
I
go
won't hold that
Gators.
against you either, man.
we are the most winningest team of all time. So it's but I'm
just on a side note, I was my final 3 schools that I was choosing from were Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, and Michigan. Just to let you know. Charles Woodson was my host when I was out at Virginia, when I was out in Michigan during my visit. So,
That's incredible.
but just to let you just to retouch back on that, because entertainment is one of the major exports of the United States, just on the business side of things. And we're in its infancy stages of monetization when it comes to um, entertainment. We touched on it when it came to music, because streaming is educating people on how to make money off of streaming is one thing, but
Right.
fixing the streaming problem is another thing. It's completely out of control, where you got major corporations who are making massive amounts of money off of people's intellectual properties, and they're not getting paid hardly anything. One of the
Exactly.
things that we represent at Connect Your City, and now going to the features of Connect Your City. One of the things we represent at Connect Your City is proper payments, freedom of speech, to be able to control your own career, take your own career into your own hands. If people don't understand that there are options for them, like if athletes put all their time and effort into being an athlete, and then the only thing they know is, okay, you got the athletes, you could be a coach, you could be a athletic trainer, you could be a gym, whatever, you could be a gym teacher, all that different stuff that has to do with athletics, but they don't know about the media side of things and the monetization of those things. So we're here to
Right.
educate them on how to use that. But Connect Your City is is a broadcasting network that also operates as an OTT platform. So we don't need the internet to broadcast. We would still be broadcasting. We use the emergency frequencies to do so, but we can broadcast without the internet. However, we do partner up with the internet and internet services like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, just to name a couple of them.
Right.
So when we broadcast on all platforms simultaneously. We have over 211 television networks and over 40 radio stations right now as we speak, that are all active right now as we speak. I put in the chat the links to my website, and also which has my television network and my radio station embedded into the website. I also have put in the chat a link to Connect Your City, so you can see the layout of the other channels that are available right now and active right now as we speak. So we have the ability to go live anywhere in the world at any point in time. We can do pay-per-view, we can do on demand, and we also have a 24/7 continuously looping broadcasting network for each channel, or feature
Right.
for each channel.
Hey, here's
Can I
Larry.
ask a question?
Sorry. I just let Larry and Dion. Yes, Melanie. And then Isaac's gonna get into what he's got going on. Anything else Dion wants. Yes, ask away.
Okay, great. Larry's here. So one question I had that has been kind of a continuous question when it comes to this is, with you launching there, um what is the monetization? Will it start advertiser supported? Because from what I understand, Rasta Phil loaded the channel. There's no money being made.
Oh, that's not necessarily true. So you see, I wasn't going to get ahead of myself on any step of this. So the way now that advertisers are going to come to this is what we're going to do as it relates to the telethon and also the Jackson 5 IP. So I'll let Larry, since he just came in, talk about some of what they've been visioning as it relates to that. But because of our global ecosystem, and because, celebrities drive brands, um, these are everything that we're about to unroll. And because this call is going to be made public in some aspects, I don't want to reveal the curtain until we reveal the curtain. So we could talk offline about that as well.
Okay.
And Isaac's on here because the engagement part, to drive people to the platform, which is where the advertisers are going to come in once that engagement's literally driven. I have this ecosystem, and then Bassam behind Rainbow. It's kind of everything everywhere all at once when this launches. So you can't do one before the other. And we had to finalize everything that we've been so caught up in. It's been the never ending pursuit of if we were going to get Paramount. Since that's still ongoing, I want to show the world what I vision to run basically a new Paramount. Say we own Paramount Global, right? I would be able to showcase on an educational side the making of movies from day one. So let's take Mission Impossible as an example that's coming out. Everybody watches movie credits. Some people get up during the credits and leave because, you know, they're reading a bunch of names that they don't know what those people do, the general movie watching public. What's a key grip? What's a gaffer? You know, what does the best boy do? Imagine when you're making a movie without giving away any of what's actually being shot. But imagine if you could turn literally every single crew member's life into an educational tool to show the entertainment industry and how the sauce is actually cooked and how the meat is actually made. I'm using some references from Mr. Falcone. And basically give, you know, Mission Impossible's got a sub channel under the Paramount Network for every movie, from Mission Impossible to the writers' rooms. Everyone wants to know what writers' rooms are. You don't think brands are going to come into something, right? That's already a global IP. So this is what we're building, and this is what some of the vision was that I had behind this, taking the platform, which was incubated in an educational incubator at Jackson State. Larry's on, he'll talk about the history, but basically creating sub channels. So Big Picture World has a channel. We go and we shoot new footage for Mob Soldier, Danny's series, right? We're going to be doing a lot of the reenactments for that. The interviews are already done. Imagine if while we're doing those reenactments, we can document the entire thing. A lot of people get caught up because the marketing side of this and corporations, there's hundreds of people. So voices aren't heard, ideas aren't heard. There's usually one person called the CEO at the top of each one of those entities making a decision. That's not what collaboration is. That's called voices being silenced. I hate the word company. That's why I refrain from it. I mean, people know this. I say company and then I correct myself.
So I just called over to that hospital and
So,
we got time for your training
hey, Larry, sorry, there's some background noise.
and 11:30.
But
Just-
Melanie, that it's all
So,
gonna be.
sometime within that time frame, they'll
There's
get here. We're gonna leave.
Larry's a busy man. There's gonna be basically an entire plan for this, and the only way to launch it to get eyeballs to drive people all at once to this is by taking something as big as the Jackson 5
Jackson
IP
5.
and connecting that to a telethon. You know, I've told everybody this was never about the money for me, and it was never about even me. It was about putting something back into the world. All of these major film corporations, and I'm going to name them all right now: Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, Sony, Disney. Every single year, these corporations could be throwing global telethons. They don't do it. Why? Because of a board of greedy individuals at every single one of those entities. Somebody very close to me that helped me build this, his literal family of over 30 years, was a chair at one of those companies till they got bought by another one. And now they're not anymore. Because literally board members and board decisions, corporate greed, it has completely killed art, not only from being subjective. David Zaslav at Warner Brothers, literally killing people's dreams that they've spent years working on. And yeah, I'm calling people out because this is public information and it's wrong. So I don't have all the answers figured out yet as it relates to what the next steps of this are going to be, just like I never had all the answers figured out every day that I was walking in it. But I knew, Melanie, that it was leading to something. And
Yes.
I was led to everybody to lead it forward into something.
Mhm.
So, Isaac, because I don't know if Larry still got stuff going on.
Wait, Will.
Oh, good, go for it,
Will,
Dion.
give me a second because I do want to address something. There's a couple things really quick because
Hey, Dion,
yes, sir.
you don't have to say anything about Connect to Your City.
Okay, all right. You already knew where I was going with it, Larry. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Just
Thanks,
listening
brother.
in, guys.
No, man, I love you. Will you talk about some of the history of your vision and the decades that you've been building this? And
Certainly.
I'm just grateful for you, not only as a mentor in my life and a guide, but you know, the legacy that you created with this. I was telling Dion last night after I got off the call, you know, I understand we're custodians of your legacy moving forward and the next generation to continue what you've been building. And I just want to thank you for the belief you showed in me since the day that you met me, because
Hey,
you had no reason to do so, sir. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I think time I see anyone that has a vision for creating change domestically and globally without asking anybody for a fucking thing, be behind, because that's what we have to do. And no one's perfect. No system is perfect. No organization is perfect. So we do the best we can, but our intentions is to create change without having to ask anybody to do it for us. That sometimes takes money. That sometimes takes time. So really, because Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and your vision wouldn't be built in a day. So I just continue to stay on the calls with the hope that what you put in motion will materialize what you envision. We'll work together and keep on making change. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, Godfather Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything, Dion, do you want to tee up anything for Larry based on what we talked about?
He'll chat with me later on.
Okay. I love you. You're like me, man. Don't
Mhm.
reveal it until it's revealed. I get it. Thanks for showing up, brother. I appreciate you greatly.
It's all good.
Mr. Moneypenny, thank you for your grace and patience. Isaac, you're on mute if you want to let the amazing friends here and world know about what you've been creating and also battling corporations on for
What?
years.
Excuse me 1 second, Will. Can you kind of, because Larry doesn't know about the buses or the
Oh,
vans. Can
yeah,
you please kind of talk to him about that? Kind of explain to him in detail what your plans were.
absolutely. Larry, I'll send this to you so you can watch the beginning before you get on.
Okay.
But so basically, Sam Harris is on here. Oh, wait, here, Sam, just so Larry could hear it, because I don't know how many calls. Wait,
Yes,
Isaac,
sir.
Isaac left. Hang on. He'll come back because that's important. So, Sam, will you let Larry know about the Jackson 5 IP and kind of what the plan is? Because, Larry, what I want to do, I want to get 2 RVs in California and I want to get 2 RVs here in Florida. Letting Isaac back in. And basically, we're going to load those things up. I'm going to have brand advertisers behind it based on what we're launching and wanting to launch literally the Big Picture World channel finally, and also the Piney Woods channel, which I know you've already been working on. And we're going to get basically everybody together. You know, this leadership group that ended up making up what was Project Rise Partners, all of us and others, including the financial side. You know, a lot of people said that there were no leaders in this group. So we have come up with a plan and a vision to live stream myself and Martin, my brother Dave Sheridan. You see, I'm making a movie. One thing I can do is get movies financed, even without brand partners or billions of dollars behind it. It's all I've done for 20 years as a producer. So now I'm making my dreams come true as a director. I was given a script by Scott Ross, and that movie, Pucks, Curse of the Puckwudgie, is basically going to star Martin. It's
Yeah.
going to star Dave Sheridan, and it's going to star a bunch of other people that were really close to me, including TikTok influencer Griffin Johnson, who's managed by my manager and partner Joey Stanton. Griffin has 11 million followers on TikTok. He also is an owner in Sandman the Racehorse, which as of yesterday got announced it's going to be running in the Preakness on Saturday. So Griffin's got a global platform on TikTok. The streaming side of this, as it relates to the other connective point to go with Connect to Your City, I was introduced by King Batch. The dinner that we had to raise the money to form Project Rise Partners, Batch came to. He introduced me to somebody he was working with in Bassam Saw, who you met, Larry, the night at the W. And Batch has 25 million followers. So I've created a piece of IP. Eddie created it. I've cast the entire thing. I've prepped the entire movie. We own 6.5 acres of land in Owensboro, Kentucky, through another partner of mine. And I'm going to make this movie. I want to get the film because of the influencers and the acting talent that's in it on a global level. I want to get brand advertisers to finance the movie. I did a movie called Grow House with an amazing filmmaker that I learned a lot from. That was like the pass off to RZA because he came from a music background. That movie was funded fully by brands. And it was before social media was what it was now. So I wanted to implement that vision on the first thing I was to ever direct. So utilizing connecttoyourcity.com and putting an unscripted series together with partners that I have won Emmys in that space. I want to go and drive all across the United States in these two RVs on both sides because everybody in these RVs are connected to this movie, as all of you. I haven't shared the deck yet for that. I'm sending it later this afternoon. But basically, this is going to be an ongoing viral advertisement for the movie that we're going to make, which includes a video game and other things. So this all promotes what we're going to do with the telethon. Please watch yesterday's Zoom, Larry. You'll get a really firm grasp. And essentially utilizing what Don Bennett, Henry Vaccaro, and Sam Harris are the gatekeepers and custodians of. I'm going to literally get brand advertisers on board utilizing Connect to Your City to stream the Jackson 5 TV series, which was originally a CBS production and Paramount owned CBS. So this is without chaos. This is without
Amazing.
literally half an even, quote unquote, storm the castle. We literally have the ability to broadcast on your network something that was created by technically the company that now is owned by Paramount. And this is pretty paramount. So I want to get those RVs. I want to wrap them in connecttoyourcity.com, basically wraps along with, dates for what the telethon is going to be, what the music festival is going to be. And as we drive across the United States, people are going to see that. And then literally I'll work it out. The final third leg of the Triple Crown's happening. I'm hoping Sandman, the racehorse, is going to be racing in it. Look at what Griffin was being talked about on the Kentucky Derby. We can live stream. We can set up a channel for Griffin on Connect to Your City. Basically, everybody that's from our collective of amazing human beings of the light and the like-mindedness, when they're not broadcasting on their platform 24/7, it's going to play on loop exactly what we're going to broadcast starting Friday. And you see Friday, The Final Reckoning comes out starring Tom Cruise and also the man who was at the head of our table and Isai Morales, because of the relationships in this with me that he's known and trusted. So he came and he showed up, and then I was able to raise $13 billion to make a bid to buy Paramount that literally got suppressed due to greed because it was better than the offer that was in play. The head of the special committee, I'm not even going to get into that because I don't want to get sued yet. But
Yeah.
Larry, that's kind of the plan. And that's the vision. So I'm working with Henry, I'm working with Don, I'm working with Sam. I have my marketing team I brought in. We're gonna have a separate marketing meeting. We're finishing an advertising deck. It's the launch of Dream It, Create It, Live It advertising, which is the advertising side of Big Picture World, because I have access to global stars and talent. I mean, literally some of my best friends that have become my best friends in this, that would star in this series with me, live in a house with me. One of them is literally directly connected to Snoop, works with Snoop every day. The other one, Judah. Well, Judah was Leo's assistant on 3 of his biggest movies that he ever made. I'm the one that was the anonymous party connected to all the A-listers of the past and to the present and to the future to do this moment in time. And nobody can stop it because these are relationships that money can't buy, because the only relationships that are still here are the ones that didn't care about the money. They cared about a vision and about evoking change. And I'm going to do that through the nonprofit that I sat on the advisory board of, along with Sydney and Larry Franco, founded by my brother, Barry Bogovich. And it's called Action Through Action. And that's another reason why when I got sent Eddie's script, and he told me Martin was involved, Martin literally, that's what my foundation's about. And Martin didn't get to make that choice of who he was in life, just like I did and anybody else. But you can walk through the path and lead yourself into the light and help the world with what you've been through or who you are. And I have mentors that have taught me that every single day that have been around for 30, 40 years. And Danny, no worries. I just saw the message. Thanks for showing up, brother. And
Hey, real quick,
Well-
am I named after Danny?
say that again, Martin.
Am I named after Danny and the first film, Gone Viral, Falcone?
Oh no, wait, that's right. There is a connection to that. So no, but that's funny. And thanks
Yeah,
for
I was like,
talking about. Thanks for bringing up Gone Viral.
yeah,
That's another thing. That's the that night that I've talked about, like walking into the Star of Jesus Christ in Koreatown and getting off the bus at 3:33 in the morning. Martin, I haven't even told you about all this, but it's part of the Big Picture World Finds Justice that I put out. I was going to have a call that next morning for producing Gone Viral, and I walked into Cherry Zoo being assaulted in front of the Dorchester, and it was on March 3rd, the night after the Oscars. Flo had just won Best Animated Film, and Cherry, I didn't plan to help in that situation. I was filming a lookbook for putting something together that I've dreamed about making, that Larry Franco told me he would get behind me on, that he produced the original. So I literally had my phone out filming, and I came around a corner and I saw a license plate that was my initials with my birthday and Sydney's with her age. And then I saw a woman being literally wrestled to the ground and essentially assaulted. And that's when life got crazy. It became Big Trouble in Little China in real life. And since then, Cherry has introduced me to her brother who's in Shanghai. He's become a business associate in all this. We have the opportunity to go over there. I was talking to Michael about that. I have people that are interested in getting involved in what we're funding and structuring that are on a global level. So, but Gone Viral's happening, Martin. I still got to call your agent
yeah,
on that. I'll get into that literally over the next couple of days after I wrap this. But
yep.
Larry, that's the plan, and I'm gonna share with you the advertising deck, and get your insight into all this because it's your brand and you're the gatekeeper of your brand. But I want to connect the brands together, and this is all connected to the Canyon Country store. I haven't really got to tell you what we're doing. Um, and the next day, I'll have a full signed partnership with Tommy Bina and his family. And we're going to take the Canyon Country store brand global as an e commerce, everything business with the foundation in education and philanthropy. We have parcels of land all over the United States. We're going to build literally resort and advertising volume studio stages on them for us to create an ecosystem in every market to shoot commercials with our roster of talent. There's an app that's got to be created to where brands can just go directly to our app and they can book their commercials directly with us. And then we can produce them in each hub that we have. And until those hubs are built, well, the app will be constructed and we can produce them at all the collective points that we make content at to begin with.
Well, that's amazing, man. A lot of stuff is going on, and we're going to be able to do a collaboration because Connect Your City has just become the official channel for the next WNBA. So we can do pregame, halftime, and postgame events from city to city based on this new WNBA that's going to be huge. So that'll
Incredible.
make things make sense because you'll have built-in crowds, built-in audiences as we go from city to city and do our social events before the game, halftime events, and concerts after the events, pay-per-view. So it's going down. Time and
That's
then have
incredible.
city
Divine timing.
drive around the country. That's gonna be so much content, reality show, and we got with the players to participate in documentaries about their life and getting the players getting paid. All that is being implemented. And another channel launched with a soccer league and the first ever women's sports agency launching a channel for all of their athletes. So we'll have tons of content that we could collaborate on as we go around the country. So we basically, wherever we go, there's a team or a situation that we're connected to that we can collab in those cities.
Hey, uh, just gonna throw this in there. You said something about the disability part and stuff. I'm actually a part of a team that represents the U.S. Well, we've been going down to South America, even though getting our ass kicked, but playing little people soccer in front of the crowds down there. They're diehard soccer people, but maybe at some point we might want to, you know, touch on, you know, people with their not disability, but their other ability.
Yeah.
And show,
Absolutely.
you know,
We all,
Absolutely.
you know, we launched a little mania wrestling for you know, for midget wrestling and small people.
yeah, yeah.
We're doing right
I
now.
watched it once or twice. I was like, yeah,
But what cracks me up is I never knew how fun it was. Event. Just not even the wrestling. The crowds are crazy.
yeah. Well, this
I
is
mean,
on a bigger scale because it's like the fans are full. And the first time I did it, we were down in Argentina and we took on all the South American teams. And you get people down there, and they're, you know, it's an indoor soccer course, but they've
uh-huh.
got their teams that they, you know, love. And um, at the end of the tournament, I ended up having to give away almost every piece of clothing I had because somebody from some soccer team would want a piece of my stuff. And it wasn't until I got back to California when I was living, and I
Uh-huh.
realized two of my shoes were missing. Somebody went in my room and took my red and my blue Adidas shoes. So now all
Wow.
I have left is my blue and my red Adidas shoe that were matching. You know, I like to mix match. You know,
I'm the
black and white
same way,
Adidas.
Martin. I do the
Yeah.
same stuff. That's funny.
So
Hey,
I'm like,
Dion, could you make sure you get his information so we can talk?
Oh, I'll connect us, Larry.
Because
I'm
that's
gonna
gonna
put
be
us on a
crazy.
text, man. And I
That's
wanted to, yeah, no,
I
it's
love that.
and
yeah,
Martin, that's amazing, man. I would love to you for you to basically, you know, things like that, man. You're on the board of all of this with all of us. So, and speaking of which, the other connective point of this, Isaac, thanks for being so patient, man. I know we've been covering a lot on the streaming visual side of this. Will you talk about um everything that you've created and some of what we've discussed and some of what you want to do? And also, you know, we're going to get the world to make playlists for us as we go on this adventure.
Yeah, of course. A real high level of what mixtape is mixtape has secured the patent that actually shut down Spotify's social media division because they were infringing on it. And I'm not one to police anything because creating things is great, but when you're not paying the creators for their time and their art, that there needs to be a stop to that. Um, Quickly, what mixtape is just like how Instagram kind of turned everybody into a photographer, turned everybody into a picture sharer. That's what mixtape does. But instead of images, it's playlists. And so you have the same connectivity that you have on the social features of Instagram, but it's all in its own ecosystem. And you can tell the story of why these songs are important through a voice introduction or text. Um, and that's kind of what mixtape is, in the same format as a social platform.
Thank you, Isaac. And um, just for people to listen to on what I'm about to say as
That's
well.
pretty dope, Isaac. Mhm.
And Larry, any ideas? That's the other thing too. I kind of want to have a breakout meeting between you and Isaac to see on a collab because this is what all this is, man. This is the ecosystem, the individual leaders. You know I went through a phase of this when we had so much capital thrown at us where everybody was down to even merge under one hub. But I'm not. I've never been one to take away legacy. I sent David Ellison a DM the night that I had confirmed that we were going to be literally making an offer to Paramount to set up a meeting. I even wanted to involve his wife in what I wanted to do with the basically starting a band. I didn't know it was going to be the Canyon Country Band at the time, but I had an artist by the name of Daniel Gallup who I went in and I had on Florida Gator Nike Air Maxes. This kid was from the University of Florida when I went into the Viper Room Lounge to listen to him play. And I knew that I could start a band behind him at a major level. I've always been a fan of country. So I'm all about building legacies, not ending them. But, you know, the whole pursuit of this, people are trying to literally end my legacy and I didn't even know that one existed in the manner that it did. So I've always been about collaboration and partnership as a producer. That's what you have to do. You got to connect everybody. People go, what a producer do? He literally builds the relationships to make everything happen, he or they or she. And
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
sorry, no, go
So
ahead,
I
Larry.
was saying with Isaac, on what you don't know, our radio uh, uh, platform, our OTT, like we're introducing the brand into the whole world, OTT radio. So we actually can actually play those mix lists, and you see the visuals at the same time. The music is playing as well as just audio. So you put all types of this on the and see the visuals simultaneously as well.
That's
Mhm.
incredible.
Absolutely
Melanie,
love it.
Melanie, will you talk about some of what you've got cooking and some of what we've talked about? Because everything you've wanted to do also implements into this as much as you want to get into.
Well, I found it interesting when you were talking about creating the IP with the behind the scenes, because me and Rasta Phil did the behind the scenes of the unit. I love that. I think that filmmaking, the act of filmmaking, should be told more in the storytelling point so that we can teach not only the children of our future, but also the adults that are looking to reinvent themselves. There's so many gatekeepers that want to charge people for knowledge that should be taught in school and is not being taught in school. So there's
Absolutely.
that. I love that. Um, um, so with Rasta Phil, we have about 7 projects that are in development, one in post-production, and then a few others we haven't even started. Um, I know he's working on a big deal I can't really talk about right now, but the mall in Atlantic City, which is the facility, 550,000 square foot facility. It was a mall converted into a production studio where we have 4 floors of amazing content creation spaces. Most of them are sets or they're sound stages you can build sets in. Um, I just in January signed the lease to bring in Rucker Park brand, that we gave them a lounge on the 4th floor. It's going to be called the Entertainers Lounge. On that partnership, I have um Gusto, who is the owner of Rucker Park Legacy, and then TD, who is Swiss Beats father, a guy named Mel, and Teddy Riley. They're all Teddy is and TD are silent partners. But so that's exciting. That's going to be happening soon. And then we have the beach stage, which is currently being built, where we have the capacity of 100,000 people on the beach. So I brought Akon's brother there last week to visit. One big beach party I'm looking forward to, August 28th, is going to be Akon and Friends with David Guetta, Pitbull, and a few others. And he wants that to be annually. So what I'm doing is partnering with artists like even Soul For Real. I gave them a residency deal. So I'm partnering with artists that have, I would say, broken away from the machine, and they're not being owned or ran by Live Nation or anyone else. So they have the freedom to partner with a production studio to say, hey, let's create IP. So we do a concert, we film it, we film a lot of the BTS leading up to the concert or event or production, and then I turn that into another documentary and a piece of IP that we put out too.
I love that. And
Oh,
it's
and one
go
thing
ahead.
I didn't tell you, Onyx, they flew me out to Tampa 2 weekends ago, and I am now, well, I just released one of Sticky's movies on Tubi, but a documentary is coming in. I'm also shopping for the story of Onyx because Phaedro got a book that he put out and he wants me to help him get the deal. So with Rasta Phil, we're attaching Antoine Fuqua, Rasta Phil, myself to the deck, and I'll share it with you, Will. If you want to add anything to it, you're welcome to it, because anything we do, you're part of as well.
Vice versa.
So that's what we're doing, getting Onyx that series, because they have like a cult like following. Not for nothing, Onyx, they just toured in Russia and it was crazy. So working with a lot of legacy artists like them, Styles P, Mobb Deep, everybody. There's so much synergy. We're all connected to people that are major.
Onyx,
That's
my boy.
incredible.
I did a movie with Onyx. I mean, not Onyx, but Sticky is a boy of mine. We did a movie called The Bagman with John Cusack and Robert De Niro. And It was pretty cool. I loved getting to know Sticky. Sticky's the goddamn
Sticky's
man.
amazing. Let me tell you, not to brag, but I've distributed 70 titles. Sticky is my first filmmaker that said, Melanie, here, take my card. You
Yeah.
run this machine and do what you do, make this movie pop. So that's where I'm at right now, marketing and promoting Sticky's movie to bring that up
Will
to
you tell him I
raise the
said
numbers.
hello?
Huh?
Will you tell him I said hello?
Yeah. Send me your Will, can you do a text with me
Yeah.
and Marty and I'll
Will.
connect you with
I
Sticky.
Yeah, I
will.
have his cell
Sticky
Yeah,
phone, but he
is
everybody.
hasn't returned it in a
coming here.
while. So.
Matter of fact, Phaedra and Sticky will be in Atlantic City in June because he's also Phaedra's doing a movie called The Tunnel, and I'm getting him to film a scene at the studio.
Okay. Cool.
I,
Cool.
I wanted to add because you said something important, and all I talked about was
And
literally.
I'll tell him, Marty, that you
Oh,
sent your love, and
Yeah.
if
Please.
you
Please.
mention Melanie, they'll know.
Okay. Thank you.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
Melanie,
What
you
happened?
touched on something very important. Because I was going to say the College of Sports and Media side, obviously the work that we're doing with Piney Woods, right? And the showcasing of every single studio creating their own educational film channel. You know, kids get inspired by movies, but if they actually saw the process of it outside of watching special features, it would be a whole different thing every day. So I don't want to just do this with film and TV. You know, the leadership, educational leadership group in Big Picture World that we formed to work with Piney Woods and Will Crossley. You know, we've talked about showcasing the trades that aren't showcased anymore, right? People watch series like one of my favorite shows growing up was Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe, right? And
Oh, I
so
love
if
my
there were
show.
channels, somebody, yeah, so it's one of the best ever. I started when my mom used to watch QVC all the time, so that's where I first saw Mike Rowe. But basically, how the trades that are no longer focused, you know, some of the people that got me through this were mechanical engineers, things like that, things that people, unless they go and read about it, can't really get knowledge on. So every single trade, man, I want to showcase and have channels for and shine lights on. That was everything that Will Crossley and I talked about. And I know, Larry, you've had your own conversations with Will, but I want to utilize connecttoyourcity.com on a global platform to, you know, shine a spotlight on the whole world. Literally, you know,
Amazing.
even languages that aren't the ones that we speak, because this is a global industry, not just here. And, you know,
We'll get you moving.
Okay.
unless you educate
Um,
yourself on a
Connect Your
global
City is
manner.
going to go through a tremendous change as far as our public brand is concerned. So the timing is perfect. I'm at a chaplain's visit at the hospital, and I got to go. But I appreciate you guys and look forward to talking to you again soon. Okay.
God
Thank you,
bless.
Thank
Larry.
you,
Thanks for
boss.
showing up. Appreciate you.
Mhm.
Thanks, Larry.
Sam, I just got your text. If Jay can jump on, please forward him the link so we can chat a little bit about his song and next steps. Because one of the things that I want to do relatively quick. So I'm gonna head up to Atlanta, and then I'm I'm working right now already on the video for Trump This. I've been working on some ideas with Darren Cagg. So we'll set up a separate call with you, Darren, Jay, and I. But if Jay's free to get on, Sam, if you're there.
Yeah, he's on now.
Oh, is he? Has he been
Hey,
on the call?
no, he just came in.
Oh, what's up, Jay? I didn't know you guys were on the same
Hey,
line.
what's going on, Will?
Hey man, so I don't know what your pops has been catching you up on, but we're in activation mode, and one of the things that I got visions for in activating this as an independent party, and Marty, who's on this as well, is well, we connected over similar ideas. I want to literally launch between now and Friday the music video for your song "Trump This." And I want to have a focused phone call about that. We're not going to record it. It's nothing like that. But I've been utilizing AI in addition to some other visions, and I wanted to see if that's something that we could make possible.
Okay. Well, yeah. And this is just the video.
Yeah, it's a video that would utilize, you know, creating change in America in the manner that one, because you wrote something about getting him in, right, from state to state. And then, I mean, all President Trump's been doing is shaking the tree. And I had to shake a lot of trees. So I understand some of the public perception of what he's been going through and dealing with. And, you know, I produced a movie 13 years ago that Elon's wife starred in. I met Mr. Musk. He was on my film set. He was not the Elon that he is now. Just like back then, I'm not the Will that I am now. So I feel direct connectivity with a lot of this. And I want to shine a spotlight in a huge manner on what we're doing, and your track allows us to do that. It is not anti Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form. Martin's not anti Trump. I'm not anti Trump. You know, we have a lot of women that are in this that are anti Trump because they're women and don't agree with situations that have happened. And I wanted to create a platform that could unite everybody, not divide everybody. We have deep relationships on the left and the right. Dion is also on the right of that as well. And I'm an independent party. So, you know, I was going to vote for Donald Trump. But I was focused on all of this, so I literally missed voting day because I felt like I was doing bigger work, and well, I'm not the only person whose voice matters, so I knew things would be covered. But I grew up a lifelong Democrat because when I was a little kid, I was told that was the right way, and no disrespect to my parents in any way, but children should not be Democrats or Republicans. Kids are sponges in the world. All the trauma that I had to overcome, none of which was instilled by my mother. I'm my mother's son. None of that was instilled by my grandmother. But I was a sponge. I grew up and witnessed the world around me. And then I was taught certain things that I shouldn't have been taught, and the elements that I learned them. And it torpedoed my life for the majority of it. And, you know, I've also seen how God and the idea of God is used to oppress women at times. So I'm on both sides of the fence with a lot of this stuff. And, you know, quite frankly, we were all told that we weren't leaders in public press when all of these individuals remain anonymous to build Project Rise partners. And so I think your song, Trump This, instituted in an edit of some of these videos that we've been recording and having, basically allow us to not only shine a spotlight on you as an artist, potentially in a bigger manner than when you were a young man and literally tapped into your God-given gifts, but your dad has been my actual partner every day. He's also my pastor now. There was a pass off from churches because I want to build a sanctuary for worship on your family's land, which would be connected to the other stuff that your dad and I have talked about doing there. And so I'm kind of telling the whole world to trump this, what we're doing, because nobody can, because you can't stop a collective army. And God connected the entire world to us. Somebody said last night on the call, my 6 degrees from the whole world is one. But when you put divine masculine, which is me, with divine feminine, which is Sydney, the ecosystem became 0 degrees. And I can actually prove it. I can connect the entire world together through what we've created. Even President Zelensky, because of the documentary that was made on his life, he's connected into this. And I mean, I could keep going across every single political spectrum. So you have a piece of IP that you created that I want to add my vision to in a positive manner, not a negative, to shine a big, bright spotlight on us and basically this collective family that came together to evoke change in the entire world, not just the United States of America, if that's okay. And we'll have a conversation focused directly on that with Darren, who's going to help me create that. He's one of the biggest rappers out of Turkey. So he's made a music video or two. So just you, myself, him, and your pops, he was going to be on this call. He wasn't available this morning. So we'll do that if that's okay with you, and have a conversation focused on just that and not one of these. It's not going to be something, I'm not recording that conversation. I'm not putting that conversation out into the world, but I want to get that video done and finished. And we're going to utilize AI to help with that, to also showcase what we can do in that world between now and Friday. The video would debut on Friday. of next week.
Okay, so we're now. Now this would be on an exclusive site, or
It would
for
stream
the.
on, it would stream on connecttoyourcity.com before and after. So we're going to start a 24-hour loop. Dion, I'm talking to Dion about that. I need to have just a focused conversation with him and Larry. I've been editing together everything that we've participated in, from the Pineywood Zoom call for Will Crossley to talk about what we're doing in education, to the Zoom call last night with Steve Bhaerman regarding what we're going to do with the telethon. This Zoom call as it relates to what we're going to do with the streaming platform and what Isaac can do with literally his music platform, and other various Zooms that I have had. I have 24 hours worth of content to live stream 24/7 in an endless loop, because seeing is believing and listening is everything. And that's the only way that I put this together. And this is the final piece. And you see, you have the free will to say no, but I don't know why that would happen, because everything I'm doing only elevates you as an artist and to this new generation of talent that's been showcased and lifted up. And you and your pops are my partners in music as it relates to Houston and everything we're doing. You're on the board of this with your dad, and we're taking the Canyon Country Store global as an everything business, specifically with resorts, hotels, RV parks, and obviously our own film and TV and entertainment studio. So it's going to be big picture world at Canyon Country Studios at Pineywood School. And you allow me to make that happen, because right now Donald Trump hasn't taken notice to what we're doing, but this is in support of him. So I would like to partner with you to do that, Jay.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll give it. I mean, I'm interested to see kind of like what the AI, video and all that is, about. So yeah, I'll give my dad on it.
Okay, thank you, brother. And I'll do a email with you, your dad, and Darren, and then if we could have a conversation tomorrow, that would be incredible.
Okay.
Thank you, Jay. Hey, Jay, real
All right.
quick, just while you're here, because I know your dad has utilized his amazing voice to talk about some of what you've done. Will you share with the partners here who haven't met you, Melanie, Dion, and Isaac, some of your background and the global successes that you reached as a young artist when you started? Because this is about the next generation.
Okay. Yes. Hello. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Xavier, as Will mentioned, recording artist, actor, TV show host, and also radio show host. Currently, I host The Vibe here in Houston. It's connected to KTSU on the campus of Texas Southern University. So myself and Miss Jessie, we host the morning show from 6 a.m. To 10 a.m. But started at the age of 9. My buzz in the city really grew once I did a song for Yao Ming. Of course, Yao Ming was at that time no doubt the tallest NBA player in the NBA, of course, with the Rockets. And so did a theme song for him, Steve Francis, Tracy McGrady, the list goes on and on. But the song for Yao Ming, when we did it in Mandarin Chinese, that opened the door for me to go to Beijing, China in 2008 for the 2008 Summer Olympics. Of course, that's the Olympics where, Kobe made his appearance, and Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, so on and so forth. I signed my first major deal, and at the age of like 13 or 14 with Mr. Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, on Music World Entertainment. So from there, we released the debut album, Young Prince of the South, in 2006. Was able to tour with Chris Brown on 2 successful tours. I also was featured in the MTV film Monster 2016, the movie, the spinoff from the actual reality show. Also, I was featured in The Good Man Is Hard to Find, a movie that featured Darren Henson from Stump the Yard, Deborah Cox, of course, and eventually the film went to DVD and, received some great reviews. So currently just have a full project done, of course, still recording. Working on new music. I've been involved in, efforts as far as giving back, especially coming up, as a youngin, being an ambassador for HIV and AIDS for the youth, not only here in the city, but also we were able to do some work with an organization called Fund, Fighting AIDS with Nutrition, based in Detroit. They were able to get vitamin supplements and nutrients to those in Africa, especially the youth there. So, and that just goes back to my foundation. My parents were very instrumental in helping the homeless and, helping those who just who were released from incarceration and so on and so forth. So that's kind of always been my heart, attached to, aside from the music, of course, I've been able to be on these platforms and interview, several artists and sports figures and this and that. But, it's the foundation of just giving back, the spiritual foundation, of course, being connected to God and having the foundation of Christ, it all goes hand in hand for me. And so, that's just the, that's what it's about for me, as far as just giving back. So.
Thank you, Jay. I wanted everybody to get to know who you are. It was a pleasure getting to meet you when I was down in Houston. So just so everybody knows some of what the next steps are of what we're doing, I've traveled around the United States filming the amazing homes and places and people that join forces all collectively together, utilizing the land with the access to the financing I had and the brands and the IP. And on this call, we're leaders of the things that each of you have created. But there are literally countless founders, creators, CEOs, even though I hate that title, that have come forward into this to unite into one ecosystem to fund everything everywhere all at once. And I have the same financial backers that backed the vision that was Paramount to put together something that can literally defund corporate everything, from dirt companies and the commodity side of what we're doing with partners whose families literally invented asphalt lane in the United States of America, to other things, down to beef jerky companies, drink companies, everything under the sun. So the reason why this is happening is because most people get led to any one of those businesses. They see it, they know their relationships financially. For anybody to question my ability to raise money, that's all I've ever done. I have a 20-year consistent producing career that started off literally as a line producer, which I was not that good at because my voice got silenced. So I would tell people that there were going to be budget problems on things before they existed because I got the vision for it. And then they said that they wouldn't be issues. And next thing I know, I was getting blamed for everything. You see, I had a lot of people put accountability on me that was actually on themselves. And that destroyed my life for 20 years. 20 years. And those people know who they are, and forgiveness is everything. So I forgive each and every single one of them because I know that those relationships now, when I circle back to them with the funding that I have access to, and that I can line up with somebody that speaks in those waters in the same manner that I speaks in film. That's their God-given ability. So when I unite everybody together and we walk into each business vertical that we have led forward, from health and wellness to fashion to all of it, I know what this is going to do for the world. And we're throwing this telethon so each and every one of those leaders can let the world know who they are, the relationships that they have behind them, and the relationships that they're going to bring to the table on everything that's been created by a woman who's literally 28 years old and started this with me when she was 20, and myself now at 41. And we are setting at the top of that with all the leaders that did this. And that's all going to be connected by a legacy brand that's over 100 years old already. You see things that say since 1906, since 1938 on them. Well, That's the same situation with the brand that we have and the custodians of that brand. And this cannot be stopped in any manner. And I know that I'm not going to be killed because I'm walking in love, light, peace, forgiveness, and kindness. And so I have God on my side. People literally did try to come at me in a threatening manner to take me out. Danny Falcone, who was on the beginning of this, you know, he danced in the dark, born into it. I've literally watched greed try to end lives. And as I was saying, any one of those businesses I got led to, I could have made a financial decision for myself to finally set myself free, a few select handful of people around me free. But I never made that choice because I got to understand that all the choices that I had made from free will, all of those choices led to every single piece of trauma in my life. And I will not make a decision for myself ever again. Otherwise, I would already be wealthy. And at any point in time, I could focus on any one of those individuals who are leaders, partner with them, create a business plan with them, and fund it probably within a matter of weeks. And I've come to understand that there were times in my life where I did try to do that. I'd focus on one specific movie, and it never happened because God was in control of all of it. So even though I thought I was in control of the money, the relationships, I never was. I was led to do all of this, and I'm going to continue leading this with everybody else that's next to me. This is not about my voice being heard, it's about everyone's collectively. And as a proud human being and somebody who has always been a bisexual man, but was afraid to admit that to the world, you see, I got chosen to do this because of who I am, just like Sydney got chosen to do this because of who she is, just like Melanie, just like Isaac, just like Dion, just like Sam, just like the endless list of others. And I'm going to drive across the entire world and fly across it as well because I do have access to private planes. And I am going to shine a big, bright spotlight on everybody who's standing equally beside me. Everybody owns this. I'm going to set this up in a structure to where the whole entire world can invest in it and own it. And that's never, ever, ever going to change. And I fully believe that when the world sees a group of people that came together not for greed, but for peace, prosperity, and positivity, that we will change the world that we've all grown up in together. And I'm talking about people that are 80, 85, 86. The oldest person in this is pushing 90, down to the children that are in this as artists. And I'm doing everything possible to set everybody free all at once. God is my witness. So just thank all of you for believing in me. And if anybody has anything that they want to say to wrap this up, the floor is yours. And I have to leave here and go to the Veterans Memorial Park that is here in my hometown, where there's a bench that honors my grandfather's legacy. I'm going to sit on that bench and I'm going to record the final statement that I ever have to put out into the world. So that's my day.
Amen.
Amen.
I do want to
Amen.
say,
Amen.
I want to say one thing here and just about Will. I think I mentioned this yesterday for the people that weren't there, but I didn't go into too much context. But I spoke with Will off air on this. But for the sake of maybe people in the future will see this, throughout this journey, which is embarking on a year anniversary now, a lot of people who were added to the conversation or removed or left or whatever always came and doubted Will's ability to raise money. And my answer to them was always the same. I serve a miracle making God. I live a life that is a path of miracles. I should not be here. And because of the miracles God has created in my life, I can never doubt what he will do in the life of someone that's connected to me. So for me, I didn't stress or pressure or say, no, I'm quitting because Will, you can't do it. I just left them alone. I said, listen, let's leave Will do what Will does. And when the time is right, if the time is right and it's on God's divine timing, he will come back to the table and we will be able to make this big picture a reality. And I still say that and I stand by it and I'm here for everything. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Melanie. Isaac, do you want to share just the journey for you since we met, and close this out on your end. And then Dion, you the same. Martin, you as well. I know we just met recently. And then Sam's going to wrap us out in a prayer, I hope.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yes,
just
yes, sir.
I'm excited to be a part of the team and start making some differences in people's lives. So
Thank
I
you,
gotta
Mr.
jump off
Cleveland.
too because I got my I gotta go pick up my little one from the bus stop.
Thank you for spending so much time with us today.
No worry, guys. I love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
Talk to you.
Take care,
Thanks,
everyone.
Marty.
All right, bye, guys.
Hey,
God
Isaac.
bless.
Isaac,
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say thank you, man, I'm never out of, I remember everybody's conversations, but you see, I was in such a they live moment because since I got baptized, I felt like I lived the movie in real life, putting on the Ray-Bans, seeing the world around me, and meeting you in the manner that I did at literally an art gallery for Shepherd. If you just want to share some insight into also your path that you've had to walk through and the ups and downs and the battles and people telling you, you were battling literally a corporation on your end. Just your perspective, and then Dion will, Dion will wrap it up on that insight, and then we'll have Sam close us out. If that's okay, Mr. Moneypenny.
You want me to talk about the lawsuit or like what?
No,
What?
no, no.
Oh.
Just the path that you've walked to connect all this together in your end, because this isn't just about me.
Oh, so my path was just, again, it's the path, not the end destination, and it's just been, I was in the music industry. My royalty checks took a big hit when Napster came to life, and so I thought, not only do I miss the royalty checks, but I also remember the connectivity that music brought, and playlists aren't social, but music is. So I had this idea of how do we make it so people can spend time to hit the record and play and record a song on the radio or create mixtapes or create mix CDs and gift them to other people. And I remember I was in line for food at Warp Tour because we were playing the festivals, and someone came in with the new iPhone in 2007. I said, "Oh, that's it. That's a way that people can have music and apps on one device." And then all's history from there. Created the IP, the patents, the trademarks, and created a way for people to share music legally through the licensing ways and have that connectivity. And it's been beautiful.
How many years did you spend building all of this on your end?
Oh, geez. The Inception was 2007, but the first patent was filed in 2019. And so it's been a 5-6 year thing with a few pivots, and yeah.
Thank you, brother. It's an honor to do this work with you. Mr. Provit, a man who thought he would be a professional football player and now is a global leader. Um, will you say anything you want to? You also don't have to say anything at all.
Well, thank you for that dope introduction. But I am a walking um, testimony of someone who has been able to reinvent themselves after suffering a devastating injury that literally changed my life. uh, Tearing up my knee playing a sport I love, but it wasn't the only thing that I loved, and I was able to cling on to other things that that I love to do and affect the change that I wanted to affect in that field as well. I saw a lot of different things as I came up as an artist. Because that's what I did. After I hurt my knee, I broke into poetry. Poetry turned into music. I never really saw myself hopping on stages, but it started happening that way, and it just kept going and kept going and kept going. So next thing you know, I'm performing all over the country, and I'm being approached about signing with major record labels and everything when it comes to that, but I didn't really like the contracts that I saw, so I didn't go with them. And I just kept being an independent artist and kept pushing, and really didn't see myself falling into the field that I'm in now. But everything started to come back full circle. So everything with the sports, everything with the music, independent thinking, being able to have the freedom to create and make an honest day's living off of that is something that's really appealing to me. So this stuff that we're doing now is highly valuable to me, and I see where it can be highly valuable to a lot of people. Breaking down these walls that currently exist that need to go bye. That's interesting to me as well. I hear you speak about it quite passionately, Will. So running into you and how we met on my birthday last year was, to me, it was a piece of everybody has their part to play in a grand design. You know, even how Melody talks about it as well. Everybody has a journey, and the way we're all coming together um, is that I feel like it's that divine order that's coming together. It's showing people how everyone from different walks of life, everyone from different backgrounds, everyone has as everybody still has the same feeling and calling to arms and to represent, what their God-given abilities and talents are, and that manner is, to me, is divine. So I'm all on board with it, because that's what it's going to take to correct some of the things that are wrong in this world. There's a lot of beautiful and wonderful things that are right in this world, and we're just basically bringing light to those things, and I love that about what we're doing. And that's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Dion. Literally, since the day that I first spoke to you on your birthday to the day that this all fell in place on mine. God bless you, bro. And it's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, will you close us out in a prayer, sir?
Yes, sir. Well, it's an honor to be here today. Thank God for all of you, and been refreshed and enlightened. And thank you for having my son and I, Jay, on. And Will, again, just keep up the great work. And we're holding your arms up so you can stay with the vision. Father, we just come before you right now. We thank you for all that you've done and all that you're doing. We just ask right now that you would just give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and continue to protect us. And as Jabez prayed, Lord, enlarge my territory, keep us from evil, that we be not grieved. And so we just pray the peace of God, the blessings and the favor of God continually on the lives of those that are on the line, as well as those that are part of our families, and Lord, in our territories where we are. And Lord, your prayer was, Father, make them one as we are one. And that's our desire in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you.
God bless you, Sam.
Amen. Hallelujah. I love your prayer. You say a lot of things that I say in my prayer.
I don't know if I've prayed as much with somebody in my life as I have Sam Harris over the journey since we met. And
I love it.
thank you. Everybody is a mentor to me, whether they're younger or older, because I've learned literally how to lead this forward with all of you. And as I've been saying, it's the honor of my lifetime and my legacy. So thank you all. To be continued. God
Thank you,
bless.
Will. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys. God bless everybody.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you. God bless you too.
Bye.